we good, Dave?
Okay. Welcome, as usual, to the Wednesday, March 24th, 2021 regular session. I will call the meeting to order at 5:15, and on this end, we are going to rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct a roll call?
Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Conroy is absent. Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the March 10th, 2021 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. May I have a motion? I have a motion from Legislator Perrier, second from Legislator Waldron. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. With our virtual format tonight, we will not be having public comment. However, members of the public are welcome to express their concerns or comments by emailing us at legislature@clintoncountygov.com. That's legislature@clintoncountygov.com.
Chairman, for the record, we have not received any messages for this meeting to let you
All right, thank you. We'll go to the committee reports. Each legislator chairs one of 10 committees. I will call on the chairperson of each of those committees in alphabetical order, starting with Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Zerlo.
Yes.
You have that report.
I do, sir. On behalf of Legislator Conroy, the Buildings and Grounds Committee has not met since the last regular session. Jim Cleveland, the superintendent, has reported his team has been raking, picking up trash, and getting equipment ready for the spring weather. The department continues to disinfect common areas, office spaces, and many other locations throughout the county buildings. And the next Buildings and Grounds Committee is tentatively scheduled for Monday, April 12th at 4:30.
Thank you. Children and Family Services, Legislator Potiker.
Thank you, Chairman. The Children and Family Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. John Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, reported that Home Energy Assistance Program, HEAP, unit has served over 8,000 low-income individuals and families since November 2020 and has authorized over $4.5 million in fuel benefits. These costs are 100% federally funded. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, April 6th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development, County Ops, Legislator Waldron.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The Economic Development and County Operations Committee has not met since the last regular session. Martine Gagnon, the Real Property Director, reported tentative role preparations for May 1st, 2021 are still underway. All exemptions as of March 1st have been received, and the assessors are in the process of verifying the information to enter into the real property system. John Zerlo, the county clerk, reported the clerks allowing online access to records is doing very well, with projected year-end totals to be between 80,000 to 90,000. Mr. Zerlo also reported the Department of Motor Vehicles is processing all of Carvana company registrations in New York State. The county earns 12.7% for this work. This work is not impacting scheduled visits to the DMV. Anastasia Pratt, the county historian, reported that she has been scanning files to be accessible online, working on indexes for books that currently don't have one, and is also editing a compilation of the Clinton County World War II veterans. Greg Campbell, the Board of Elections Commissioner, reported they are currently running early voting for the Area 9 special election. Election day is March 30th. Glenn Cutter, the planning director, reported the planning board meetings are continuing via Zoom. There were 6 project referrals for March. Of note is a new warehouse expansion of 60,000 square feet for SterRx Mount Whitney Meadows along Connecticut Road. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, April 13th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee has not met since the last regular session. Kimberly Davis, the county treasurer, reported a letter was sent to those individuals on the foreclosure list about the extra year's taxes they will have to pay if they don't redeem the properties by April 30th. The committee was polled on resolution 158 tonight, which is on tonight's agenda. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, April 7th at 5:15 p.m. via Zoom. End of report.
Thank you. Health Committee, Legislator Hughes.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has not met since the last regular session. The Health Committee was polled on resolution number 179, which is on today's agenda under Waive Rule 13.2. I believe John Canosa, Director of Public Health, and Eric Day, the Director of Emergency Services, are present to provide a brief update on COVID-19.
Yes, they are. John and Eric, do you have anything for us tonight?
Sure, I'll give you some updates regarding our cases and our vaccination clinics coming up. Cases, we've been hovering around the 20-30 mark lately. Last night we had a total of 21 new cases. The day before that, Monday night, 30, and Sunday and Saturday, 20 each on those days. We did have only nine on Friday night, last Friday that is. Right now, we have a total of 134 active cases. We were below 100 for a few days anyway, so things are going in that direction, but it's still bumpy. We get little spikes here, and we're happy that they're only little spikes. So we did have one new death related to COVID reported from Clinton Correctional yesterday afternoon, or I should say the 22nd afternoon. It was an inmate who was transported to Albany Med for prior to his death and for treatment down there before he passed away. So we have a total of over 151,000 tests being completed for Clinton County residents, which is a good number. Other news, I always pay attention to SUNY, CVPH, and Clinton Correctional number of cases. Right now, I'm very happy to report to all of you that the number of cases, positive cases that CVPH has is down to 9. A few weeks ago, they were as high as 21. That's a positive. Clinton Correctional only has 8 asymptomatic inmates currently. That's an improvement from many weeks ago when they were in the hundreds. SUNY is improving little by little, but they still have a large quantity of students in isolation. They have 52 in isolation and in mandatory quarantine 67. The majority of them are from off-campus locations. So finally, on our vaccination clinic pods, we have 390 doses able to be delivered tomorrow at Clinton Community College. As of a couple hours ago, we had 110 people signed up, recognizing that we were not getting as many people, which seems to be the way it's going through signups. We're taking a little shift, and we're planning a small clinic, 200 people to be vaccinated from a local family services facility. And they are all eligible patients to be vaccinated. So we have to keep up and try to constantly evolve and change with the times. We're just not getting as many people these days. And I think we all know that because we saw that with the state site. They were up to close to 2,000 a day. Now they're down to 1,000 a day. 500 first doses, 500 second doses. So we're hoping to get tomorrow's pod, first dose is off to a good start and see at least close to 200 people tomorrow. And then with a follow-up, 200 vaccinations done on Tuesday, first doses. On Friday, we had 600 doses pre-planned from prior vaccination that we had 4 weeks ago. So that's it on the vaccine side. Eric, on the state vaccine side?
So the state side, as you mentioned, John, just to reiterate, is not breaking 500 first doses on any day in the last 7 or 8 days. They're about 430, 440 a day. Their second doses are following through. We're seeing they're seeing a lot of cancellations, and that's generally driven by the fact that the state has opened other sites further south, so folks aren't driving as far to get here. Personally, I think that bodes well for us because that means there's more appointments for local people, and I think that's part of the reason that we're seeing difficulty filling the pods that we have. So we're in a good competition, I guess, with each other. It's good that we're getting vaccine out there, but we're in a competition.
We're in summary, we're really not going to be able to breathe well until we see the state open up eligibility to everyone. Yep. So, and we're hoping that comes sooner in April rather than later, May 1st, has been talked about nationally. So, we also learned today from the state, New York State Association of County Health Officials, that the state is going to be giving more vaccines to healthcare providers, doctors, in the upcoming weeks. Johnson & Johnson will become more available, still unlimited quantities, but we're hoping to see we get a 100-dose package as early as next week or the week after that, because we're working with Home Care of Rochester, thanks to Mike and Dr. Rietzema for setting that meeting up and getting things going. We have a contract ready to be done, and to retain them to complete vaccinations for the homebound in our county, about 200 individuals. So, in other news, finally closing it out, the school guidance will be coming out for schools on the new CDC requirement, or I should say guidance to tighten up the classrooms to allow children to be only seated 3 feet from each other instead of 6 feet. We can't move forward with that until the state of New York gives us the authority to do so with their final ruling on the CDC change. So, that's it from me.
All right, thank you very much. Wendell, you finish yours, you have one?
No, the only thing I got is our next health committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, April 6th at 4:30 p.m. That's the end of my report.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, Human Services Committee, Legislator Perrier. You're muted. Francis, you're muted.
You're good looking, though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Human Service Committee has not met since the last regular session. Wendy Bishop, the nursing home administrator, reported that all residents and staff that wanted the vaccine have received it. Ms. Bishop also reported in-person visitation will start on March 22nd. All visitors must adhere to the guidelines put forth by the New York State Department of Health and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid. Visitation will be in the main dining room until the warmer weather arrives and is limited to 15-minute sections. Darlene Collins, the director of the Office for the Aging, reported that the office is receiving several calls daily from the community members needing help in signing up for the vaccine. If transportation is needed to the vaccine appointment, the Office for the Aging is referring people to Joint Council of Economic Opportunity Senior Outreach Program. Ms. Collins also reported they are compiling a list of residents that can't get to the vaccination site and would like to be vaccinated at home. There are about 20 people on the list
with anticipation for more to come. Steve Bowman, the Veteran Service Agency Director, reported in January that the office worked with the Joint Council of Economic Opportunity, along with New York State Food Bank, to establish the Veterans Feeding Veterans Program to provide monthly boxes of over 150 veterans and their family. Mr. Bowman reported they see the program growing weekly. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, April 7th at 4:15 p.m. via Zoom. End of report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Personnel, don't do that. The Personnel Committee has not met since the last regular session. Kim Kinbaum, the Personnel Director, reported her team is working with departments to ensure all employees complete their mandatory New York State sexual harassment training by March 31st. If there's anybody listening that hasn't completed it yet, it is due by March 31st, or Kim will visit your home. Demand it. Ms. Kinbaum also reported the Personnel Department recently completed the New York State Civil Service Annual Report, which certified the classification of over 2,600 civil service positions within Clinton County. And the next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, April 5th at 4 p.m. And that's the end of my report. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Plattsburgh International Airport Committee met earlier today. Chris Craig, the airport director, discussed the upcoming runway closure along with airline antenna updates. Resolutions 159 through 171 have been placed on today's agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. Next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, April 28th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee and Legislator Pathfinder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee has not met since the last regular session. Dave Marco, the Probation Director, reported probation officers have resumed random evening home contacts 1 day per week and occasionally on Saturdays. Mr. Marco also reported as the court slowly reopened, the probation department is anticipating increases in requests for court-ordered pre-sentence investigations and supervision cases. The committee was polled on resolutions 172 through 175, which has been placed on today's agenda. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, April 5th at 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. And Transportation, Legislator Hughes.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee has not met since the last regular session. Carl Weiss, the Highway Superintendent, reported the department has begun roadside maintenance and work in preparation for the upcoming construction season. Crews have also been patrolling roads to address potholes and any flooding issues due to the warm-up. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, April 12th at 5:15. With that, I'm clear, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Moving right along, for Liaison Reports, Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Potiker. Rick?
Sorry, no report.
Okay, thank you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Tennant.
Yes, I'm sorry to let you know that Mary Briette is decided to retire as our executive director. She has done a phenomenal job, and her enthusiasm and energy is going to be a tough place to replace. But we are in the process of looking for somebody right now, and I'll keep you updated on that. The finances are closed from last year. Although it wasn't a great year, we were able to finish in the black, and we're stable for now. So things are going to be a little bit of a change, and I guess we'll see where things go with replacing Mary. That is my end of report.
Alrighty, thank you. Discipline review, nothing. Grievance, nothing. Okay. Inter-County, Legislator Waldron.
Herkimer County will be hosting a meeting tomorrow morning via Zoom.
Right. LC and LG Regional Planning Board, Legislator Perrier and/or Hughes.
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman. I don't know, Wendell, do you have anything?
No, we have the next meetings next month.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, thanks. Soil and Water, again, Legislator Perrier and/or Timmons.
I'm happy to let you know that we did actually get the grant for $61,000 that we're going to be able to buy a new hydro seeder. For almost, I think, $1,000 is what we're going to actually have to put into it. We can also thank Essex County. They're the ones that actually wrote the grant, and both counties are actually able to get a new hydro seeder. And we are thinking about having the old one to give to County Highway to see if it's something that they could use. It's still in working condition, just that we're able to replace it, so we're going to do so, and hopefully that the old one may be of help to the County Highway. I don't know if you have, Francis.
And now the county legislature will have very green lawns. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That was a joke for anybody out there.
Staff members, Ms. Kelleher, do you have anything for us?
I would like to request an executive session to discuss collective bargaining agreements and litigation.
Okay. Mr. Zillow.
Chairman, just a few very quick updates. Glenn Carter, the Director of Planning, emailed me this afternoon indicating that the census data is going to be delayed, and as such, that may push back our redistricting plan, although he thinks it's still a possibility to do it on time. So we are monitoring that situation, and then we'll work with the chairman of the board to come up with the plan for ratification at that point.
Okay.
Secondly, Mr. Bowman did respond. I think he reported at committee, but he did respond to the RFP by the state of New York for a veteran cemetery. A lot of our work, as you know, anybody who's been on that committee for years, he's been preparing for this for years. So a lot of the work was done. A lot of the engineering reports were done. So we're very hopeful that there's a possibility that the McDonough site may be looked at favorably by the state of New York. Thirdly, Kim and I had our first shared services meeting with the municipalities, and it was kind of an introductory meeting, a review of where we are, all of our old submissions for funding and projects. And then we had an initial discussion on where we may go in 2021. And the committee's got homework reviewing other projects from other municipalities in hopes that we can come up with some savings between municipalities that we can submit in our 2021 plan. As everybody knows, the state budget is due. Expires on 3/31 with a new budget to start, state fiscal year to start at 4/1. All indications are that the negotiations are taking place regardless of the atmosphere down there in Albany, and it looks as though an on-time April 1 budget is still in order. This budget, to be very honest with you folks, is not a extremely poor budget for counties as far as state budgets go. So a lot of our lobbying efforts held back items, and we got a couple items in there. It's not perfect, but you can't win on every issue. But as far as county governments go, we are pleased. We consider this a good state budget for county government. And the federal stimulus money that went to the state is resulted in the state buying back 15% of their previous 20% withhold. So all the state monies that were withheld from us at the 20% level, we are going to, by the end of this fiscal year, the end of this fiscal year, 3/31, we should be receiving 15% back on our state aid that was withheld, and we have already seen that come in several departments. So good news there. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Next will be the resolutions. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the title of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution number 157, approving adoption of the Clinton County, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative Plan, Legislature.
Motion, Mr. Castine, second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 158, authorizing correction of taxes for various towns, Time Warner Cable Treasurer's Office.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 159, authorizing contract with PAR Electrical Contractors, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 160, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for the rehabilitation of Taxiway A Phase 1 and General Aviation Apron Construction Project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 161, authorizing contract with MRB Group, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 162, authorizing coronavirus response and relief supplemental appropriation Act, airport grant application and acceptance, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion.
Chairman, we had a good discussion on all of this federal money at the airport committee meeting. I am going to send out a summary from our consulting engineers to the full legislature on this. Suffice to say that Resolution 162 is federal stimulus number 2 of 3. There was the first CARES Act that we accepted already. This is number 2, and within the American Rescue Plan, we will pass a third resolution in the future. So, good news, but certainly, as everybody knows, there are certainly some revenues that we count on at the airport that are non-existent due to COVID. So this is welcomed relief.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take the opportunity, too, to thank Legislator Hall and the members of the Airport Committee. I know you've had a lot going on, as Mr. Zerlo just said. That summary will be welcome, and thank you for your efforts out there, Chairman Hall.
Thank you.
Well, did I miss something?
Just tell me roll call.
Oh, we got to pass it, too?
Yeah, we do it. If there's one resolution in this meeting that we want to pass, it is.
Oh, okay, then we'll do it. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Aldred.
Yes.
Great.
Resolution 163, authorizing grant agreement extension with Transportation Security Administration for law enforcement officer reimbursement, other transaction agreement, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Hughes. Bless you. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Before we move on, could I go back to 162?
You can.
Did I assume, I had a motion and a second.
You
there,
did,
right?
sir.
I did? Okay.
So
Thank you very much.
my diatribe was under discussion.
That's clear.
I threw you off.
For that, right? Okay. Thank you.
Resolution 164, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for environmental mitigation, perimeter fence and access road removal construction project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Breyer. Discussion. All in favor? Whoops.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Francis, did you have a question? Or were you just
No,
voting?
no. I was waving to the UPS guy.
That counts as a vote though, Francis. Okay, carried. Thank you.
Resolution 165, amending lease agreement with SkyWest Airlines Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 166, authorizing multi-year contract with Telos Identity Management Solutions Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion.
Yeah, Chairman, we did discuss this at airport, but I want to point out to the full board that this resolution shows the expense associated with this contract with Telos. However, a lot of the badges that get background is a revenue to the airport. So this is the gross cost of this. There is an revenue offset to making these badges.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 167, amending Resolution 166 dated February 27, 2019, titled Authorizing Lease Agreement with Schluter Systems, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 168, authorizing lease amendment with Verizon New York, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 169, authorizing lease agreement with BioReference Laboratories, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 170, authorizing contracts with Heritage Crystal Clean LLC and Safety Clean Systems Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 171, authorizing supplemental lease agreement number 1 with the United States of America, Federal Aviation Administration, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 172, amending Resolution 825 dated October 10, 2018, titled Authorizing Lease Agreement with Oval Development, LLC, signed council.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried, sir.
Yes. Carried. Thank you.
Resolution 173, authorizing criminal justice discovery reform grant application and acceptance, District Attorney's Office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 174, amending Resolution 386, dated June 24, 2020, titled Authorizing Contract with Central Square Technologies, Emergency Services.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 175, authorizing contract extension with Emergency Services Marketing Corporation, Emergency Services.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 176, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the capital project titled rehabilitation of runway 1735 pavement phase 2 construction, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 177, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for COVID-19 Rapid Response Grant, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Boddicker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Ms. Waldron.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 178, authorizing the county treasurer to reappropriate 2020 funds for various accounts, Treasurer's Office.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Carried. Carried.
Yep, I need you.
Okay, yep, now I'm getting to it. I didn't think you heard me the first time. I'd like a motion to waive Rule 13.2. Can I have a motion? Motion by Legislator Hughes, second. Do I have a second by Legislator Hall? Opposed? Or, excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 179, authorizing contract with L. Warner Incorporated DBA HCR Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Hughes. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion.
This is the contractual arrangement that Mr. Canoza was discussing earlier, allowing HCR to assist us with providing vaccination to the homebound population.
Okay, I think that's an excellent thing. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier,
Yes.
Waldron.
Yes.
Okay. I believe that's the end of the resolution, sir. Does anyone have anything further? Yes, for Francis.
I talked to Mike about it. I contacted a few other legislators. I'm planning on trying to get a bridge named after Sam Trombley. And what I need, I've talked to Michael R. Flick, EA, Assistant to the Regional Director, Regional Public Information Officer, Regional Records Access Officer. And he said he was going to try to take care of it on his end, as far as the bridge goes. And I contacted Senator Steck's office and Billy Jones's office. Senator Steck's office got back to me and I need a resolution from the county. So I'd like to see how everybody feels about it. I know, and I went to the Allenburg board meeting. They were very positive. And Danny O'Clair from Chair Busco was there, the supervisor, and he was positive about it. So what I need is a resolution for the county if we're all in favor of it.
Are you asking for a resolution right now, or are you just looking for some opinions and then you present a resolution at the next meeting?
I'd like to have everybody think about it and get some opinions and have it for the next meeting.
Actually, Francis and Chairman, the proper avenue would be, and it's a very good idea, is to bring that through the Transportation Committee.
Yes.
So Carl has a bite at the apple, so we make sure we're crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's.
Okay.
And then, I'm anticipating it will, but come out of Transportation, then the full board can act. So what I would do, Francis, is put it in pending Transportation Committee on April 12th to have that discussion.
Okay, and Wendell's the chairperson?
Yes. So, and then if I would suggest that you participate in that meeting.
Okay, and it's going to be the one out by the school. It's a state highway.
So
We'll cover all the bases.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, anything else on that? Anybody have anything else before I ask for executive session? Anything? Going once? Going twice? 3 times. I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session. I have a motion for Legislator Barrier, second by Legislator Hughes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We will go to executive session. Give us a minute. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are out of executive session and back in, well, we will be in a minute, back into regular session.
We don't? Did we authorize it by? No, then we don't. Are we back on? We're back in session? Okay. Yeah, Kim, as we discussed, we thought a resolution may be in order, on the telework policy. And Kim is, indicating now that we did not pass the original telework policy, via resolution, and as such, we do not need to extend it via resolution. So if the legislature, provides us consensus, we can do that internally. So if you
Okay,
can ask for a consensus,
Can I
Chair.
get a sense of the legislature on the telework policy as discussed?
Sounds good.
I see two. All in favor for that?
Aye.
Okay, anybody against that? Any comments? Okay, I see everybody's for it, so the
Thank
sense of the legislature is go ahead. Anything else, sir?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second by Legislator Waldron. Thank you, ma'am. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all again.
Patty, tell, Mr. Schrader I said hello.